WAFF 48, Huntsville, Decatur shows the Tennessee Valley News Channel. Now, from around the valley, today's top stories.
I've been talking with him and telling him it's all right. It's okay to be 19 and trying to get a diploma compared to 16 and dropping out.
One Valley community tries to stop messes like this one from coming to your neighborhood. I'm Kathy Curran. I'll have the story next. Accused murderer Betty Wilson goes to court. Jury selection begins in Tuscaloosa for the celebrated murder trial. We'll have a live report.
WAFF 48, the Tennessee Valley News Channel.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Holly Sherwood.
I'm Tom Kennemer. Thank you for being with us. Jury selection begins in the much talked about murder trial of Betty Wilson. She is charged with plotting the death of her husband, Dr. Jack Wilson of Huntsville.
Jury selection wrapped up for today just minutes ago at the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse, where the much publicized trial is being heard. Darby Mullaney is in Tuscaloosa covering the trial. She joins us now live with the latest. Darby?
Well, Tom and Holly, a pool of about 95 potential jurors were questioned all day today. Security was very tight at the courthouse. There are a lot of reporters, a lot of media there. At first, the sheriffs didn't let us into the courtroom to listen to the potential jurors being questioned, but then finally they did around 3 o'clock this afternoon. But what was going on was clear enough all along. Prosecutors and defense attorneys are trying to find jurors who are fair and also jurors who are potentially more sympathetic to each of their versions of the Betty Wilson case. Accused husband murderer Betty Wilson appeared to play an active role in choosing the jurors who will hear her case. Choosing the right jurors is a crucial first step. It's expected prosecutor Jimmy Fry will try to tell jurors about Wilson's alleged extramarital affairs, which would support his charges that Wilson wanted her husband dead. The defense attorneys have said they want jurors who won't turn against Wilson because of her personal life. What kind of jurors are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for people who are open-minded and understand that she's presumed to be innocent.
This morning, potential jurors filled out this questionnaire of 54 questions. The last question asks flat out, based on what you have read or heard, do you think that Betty Wilson is guilty as charged? Jurors who have any preconceived opinion will be eliminated. An investigator with the Wilson defense team says Betty Wilson will testify. Wilson is expected to deny allegations of James White. White says Wilson hired him to kill her husband. A longtime friend of Betty Wilson says she never believed White's story, and nor will the jury.
I don't believe it at all because I know a lot of things that the attorneys will show, and people will finally get to see the true side of the story. I cannot believe a maniac, cold-blooded murder over a human being that's never been in trouble with the law.
Now, Maggie Simi added that even if Betty Wilson did have affairs, she shouldn't be judged for that. Late today, one of Betty Wilson's defense attorneys actually came right out and told potential jurors that Betty Wilson did indeed have a number of extramarital affairs. He asked the potential jurors if that would affect their opinion of her. In other words, if they would tend to disbelieve her because of that. None of the jurors said that it would. They all said no. Tom and Holly?
Darby, you mentioned that Betty Wilson was taking an active part in the jury selection today. How was she acting? What was her demeanor like?
Well, Holly, she's very calm and cool and collected. She does appear to be very involved in the case, going through the jury list with her attorneys. When one attorney was talking about her extramarital affairs, she kind of just stared straight ahead and had a blank look on her face. But other than that, she appears to be taking a very active, participatory role.
Thank you very much. Darby Mullaney reporting live from Tuscaloosa. Term limits for Alabama legislators aren't likely anytime soon. A state Senate committee holds a public hearing tomorrow to discuss limiting lawmakers to 2 consecutive terms starting in 1995. Bill supporters say passage is not likely in this session. Governor Hunt is scheduled to meet with the chairman of the Alabama Term Limits Coalition tomorrow. Hunt says he supports term limitations.
Meanwhile, Governor Hunt says his theft trial is on hold. He's waiting for a judge to rule on several legal motions. In one of those, Hunt asked for Attorney General Jimmy Evans to be found in contempt of court for misconduct.
Very definitely he's been guilty of misconduct. The whole thing is the criminal justice system itself is on trial. and all over this country and all over this state. If people are allowed to do like he has done, then no one will have any confidence in the court system. So there's got to be some action taken on it.
Evans is leading the theft case against the governor. He alleges Hunt took $200,000 from an inaugural fund for personal use. A judge is set to rule on the motion in March. The governor was in North Alabama to help open a new Writing to Read lab. Kindergarten students in Eva Elementary School in Morgan County will use special computers to write stories. The exercises help them to learn to read. More than 50 schools across the state have the labs. The governor says the Writing to Read project isn't the only answer to better education, but it's a start.
Alabama educators pull out all the stops to meet the growing needs of students, and the way society is changing, it's a struggle that becomes harder all the time. Cindy Schiller joins us now with part 1 of her special series, Chalk One Up for Education. Now, Cindy, we just say that everything in life seems to be changing all the time, and education has to be changing constantly as well.
It sure is, Holly, and educators must find clever, innovative ways to change with those times and keep kids in the classroom. And there are some innovative projects going on right here in the Tennessee Valley to help them do that and make students want to learn. Tonight, we take a look at 2 Huntsville programs that are geared at keeping at-risk students in the classroom.
Don't know much about history, don't know much biology.
And making bad grades to impress them because that's what they were doing.
Don't know much about the French art.
And they need the opportunity to go back to school.
The kids here want a diploma. You know, they don't want a GED, but they want a diploma.
What a wonderful world this would be.
These students say given a second chance, they will get their diplomas. They're part of the Delta II program in Huntsville. It's geared toward at-risk students, kids who just can't seem to stay focused in mainstream high schools.
And the system provided this program to be a little more flexible in the way that the students can come back and earn their academic credits. And
education, can you continue your education?
Rachel Dublin teaches English and grammar at Delta. She discusses topics she says the students can relate to.
The social life, will you be able to continue to have dates and go out and have fun?
Yeah, but not as much as you used to.
But I can't just come in and force what's on my mind on my students. I have to draw out what's in their mind.
Nikki Barnes is one of about 60 students enrolled at Delta, and like the others, it was her decision to come to school here, and that decision has paid off. She was failing at her high school. Now she's making A's and B's.
Why do you think you wouldn't have graduated?
Because I had too many good friends over there, and I was trying more to impress them over there and not going to class.
Most kids like Delta because there aren't as many students, and they don't feel the peer pressure they felt at their high schools.
You're there and you're with your friends, and they influence you and stuff like that, and let's go skip, whatever. I'm like, sure, why not?
They see you as a student, just, you know, another student.
They give you more
attention. We have a big student body. Here we have a small student body, and they work with you more one-to-one.
The one thing these students don't like is the way kids in high school see them. They say their peers look at them as misfits, and they're often confused with the students in the Delta I program.
We have 5 people that I want you to pay attention to today.
Erlene Henson teaches students in the Delta I school. It's the alternative program for students who are dysfunctional or disruptive. Some students may have a history of truancy, others may even be violent.
Primary expectations are in treating people as human beings and being trustworthy and safe, being civil, being on task.
Unlike Delta II, coming here is not voluntary. It's the alternative to expulsion for students in grades 7 through 12. It's recommended they stay 1 month.
If they just stay and learn how to pattern themselves, how to take notes, how to get from one class to another, and how not to disrupt other people. That's the battle.
Now, I don't claim to be an A student, but I'm trying to be.
I've been talking with him and telling him it's all right. It's okay to be 19 and trying to get a diploma compared to 16 and dropping out, you know.
Don't know much about history.
At one, I don't see them as they are. I just start seeing them as they should be or could be or would be if they didn't have all these other little bumps and humps and things. And I just start polishing lumps of coal till I get diamonds.
And many of these kids do turn into diamonds. They learn how to behave, get back in the classroom, and eventually graduate.
That was a neat program.
Yeah.
You also found other schools with other innovative, creative ideas that keep kids involved in school.
That's right, Holly. And not only schools, but corporations. Tomorrow we'll take a look at what corporate America is doing to cultivate our children.
Oh, I look forward to that. Thanks, Cindy. Tom?
After yesterday's wild winds, today's weather is mild. Bob can tell us what to expect in the days to come. His forecast is coming up next.
You'll find your commute this morning most unpleasant. Traffic is jammed for miles. Both north and southbound lanes are clogged.
You want to be near the water. You want it to be different. You know, you could take a cruise. I know a ship. You'll have the time of your life.
You've always dreamed of taking a cruise. This is your wake-up call. The Uniglobe Travel Cruise Sale. Call 1-800-999-8000. Uniglobe, 1-800-999-8000.
This house is perfect. Shall I write up an offer?
I don't know. I hate rushing into things. Besides, we're saving for a new convertible.
But we really need a bigger place.
Well, then I better call our Alpha insurance agent about a life insurance policy to cover the amount of the mortgage.
Oh, good. Honey, have you seen the baby's room?
Baby's room? Put your trust in people who care.
He's all right, dear. It's all a part of growing up.
Call Alpha.
Central Bank gives you 8 different checking accounts to choose from. So, what kind would you like?
Kind that showers me with gifts and says, happy 50th birthday. The kind that remembers my 50th birthday.
Something that says I'm loaded with custom design features, like one of these babies.
How about something basic that just says, yes, sir? Like one of these babies.
So come to Central Bank and get a checking account that's as individual as you are.
Central Bank. Unlike other banks, our prime interest is you.
25 years ago, a big celebrity came to Lake Edna. KFC is commemorating that day with the amazing Founders Bucket. For a limited time, get 10 pieces of delicious original recipe chicken for just $5.99. Made with 11 herbs and spices, original recipe is one of a kind, like the man who created it. The KFC Founders Bucket. 10 pieces, just $5.99. A feast fit for a king or a colonel.
We do chicken right. This weather brought to you by your Lincoln Mercury Dealers Association, who invite you in to test drive the Lincoln Mark 8.
Bob Barron's forecast is certified by the American Meteorological Society.
Today was quite different from yesterday.
Oh, what a difference a day makes, isn't that
Well,
true?
and I'll tell you, yesterday it was really important that we had our own National Weather Service office covering the significant weather that was occurring across the valley. Along with yesterday's storms, coincidentally, came the first announcement that the National Weather Service nationally intends to close our local office in the summer of '95. Now, it may seem like, well, that's 2 years away from now, but it indicates something that I think a lot of folks across the Tennessee Valley would be enraged about. And those of you who don't want this local office to close, you need to make sure that your congressmen know about your opinions, and you need to make sure that you get your information and your support to our representatives in Congress, or it will become a fact in June of '95. Well, we'll show you in just a second what Doppler is showing for the valley, and I guess, well, we've got a couple of years that we can show you, and then all of a sudden we go black. Sunshine, 49 degrees right now with west winds at 12 miles an hour. A rising barometer. The humidity is at 37%. That's quite dry. With the passage of the cold front, dew point is at 24 degrees. The pollution is low. Checking in with our weather watchers across the valley. We'll take a look first of all to the west. And of course, yesterday, a very wet day. We've had some residual rainfall amounts up until yesterday afternoon, but the past 24 hours have been quite dry. Morning lows were running in the 30s for the most part, although it dropped to 26 degrees in Waynesboro. And the official numbers for the Weather Service, 33 and 53. Nice to know we still got an office, huh? 57 was the afternoon high for Scottsboro, managed to 54 in Gunnersville, 52 degrees for Fort Payne. Temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler tonight because that cooler air now is finally streaming into the valley. And you can expect to see readings that will be dipping into the mid-teens, or mid-20s rather. And many spots, I think, will stay in the upper 20s. Tomorrow afternoon, a bit cooler than today because the air will be a bit cooler and drier. Look for readings that'll be in the upper 40s, right around 50 degrees. Here's a view of Doppler 48, and there's actually a little bit of precipitation to report to you. One little area of moisture to the south of Birmingham. Down here, right about here, is where they're expecting to put that next rad Doppler that will look all the way back up here and tell us about our severe weather after 1995. But as you can see, some light rain, and most of that is aloft at this point. All of the significant weather out of the way. We'll back out and show you the southeastern portion of the country. There's that little stream of very light precipitation. All the organized weather now located up the east coast. You can see the clouds, and they're all by themselves. There's just nothing else. Ridge of high pressure building in and pretty well dominating the weather pattern. You can see that all the active weather is located up the east coast at this point. Ridge of high pressure building in, that's that colder air, and that's what we're going to be dealing with over about the next 48 hours. Toward the end of the week, we're going to be seeing another shot of showers and possibly thunderstorms. But overnight tonight, fair skies. It'll be cold. The ridge of high pressure will be building in, and the center will be pretty close to us, so winds will be dying down. Tomorrow, mostly sunny day with the coldest of the air sitting on top of us. Winds relatively light and kind of crisp and cool. As of tomorrow evening, the coldest of the air on to the east of us, and so then we start a bit of a warm-up. Now, here's the next 5 days. Sunshine. Continuing through much of Wednesday, then you'll see an increase in cloudiness. That's our next cold front coming. On Thursday, an increasing opportunity for some rain. At this point, it doesn't look like we'll see any thunderstorms with it. Kind of a quick passage and then a return to sunshine for the coming weekend.
Seems to be getting warmer in here. Is it having anything to do with your weather school?
Whoa, there's a lead in. Well, after yesterday's record high, one might ask the question, the average global temperature has been increasing, decreasing, unchanging. We'll have the answer for you with Weather School in just a few.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
A Valley teen gets a first-hand lesson in politics.
Jeanette Smith joins us now with more on this and other headlines in hometown news. And Jeanette, are we going to be sending some kids to Congress?
What's the saying, Holly? Times they are a-changing. Who knows at this point? Probably so. In today's segment of Hometown News, I'll take you to Moulton for more on Miranda Parish's Whirlwind Week in Washington. But first, we're going to head to Pulaski, where county school kids are preparing for a heated spelling bee competition. We begin with the presses of the Pulaski Citizen. Highland Christian Academy kids are getting ready for the finals in their annual spelling bee. Now, the competition is set for this Thursday, and let me tell you, it's going to be fierce. The winners at Highland will meet up with the champions from Minor Hill, Richland, and Elkton elementary schools, and that will determine which two contenders will compete on a regional level. Now, the countywide showdown is going to be held March 9th at the First Presbyterian Church. Two winners from the regional contest will go on to Washington for the big national competition, which will be held in late May. Good luck to everybody in that. Finally, from the presses of the Moulton Advertiser, a trip to Washington for one East Lawrence senior is like a dream come true. Miranda Parish just got back from a National Young Leaders Conference in Washington, D.C., and the conference was held to teach students how Congress works through hands-on experience. Miranda met with Senator Richard Shelby and John Hayes, who's an aide to U.S. Representative Bud Kramer, and the kids learned firsthand how legislation is passed through the U.S. Senate and House and finally becomes law. Miranda says she's grown more interested in government happenings, and now she plans to go into politics. Those are a couple of tidbits coming to us today from your community presses. Back to you now, Tom.
Thank you, Jan. 2 children are charged with murdering a 2-year-old baby, and dozens are feared buried alive in snow. The search continues for people trapped under mounds of frozen ice and mud on a Colorado highway.
This weather has been brought to you by the Lincoln Mercury Dealers Association, who invite you in to test drive the Lincoln Mark 8.
Results. That's what I wanted. That's what I got. I lost 47 pounds, 3 dress sizes, and 64 inches. Thank you, Inches Away.
If results are what you're after, the safe and healthy way come to Inches Away. Our proven system of figure shaping and proper nutrition can give you the beautiful figure you've always wanted.
Ladies, now is the time to get started. Lose up to 30 pounds in 3 dress sizes for only $2.56 a day. It's for a limited time only. Call Inches Away now.
She likes milk and it shows. She's got great muscle tone. She likes milk and it shows. Strong, healthy bones. He likes milk and it shows. Baby soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. He likes milk and it shows.
Milk does a
your body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and it shows. It does her body good.
Big party at Captain D's. It's a shrimp celebration. The celebration starts at $3.49. Try the bite-sized shrimp or 10 big shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, shrimp scampi or shrimp that you peel yourself. Everyone's celebrating at Captain D's except the shrimp.
Captain D's.
Here's your chance to win this great Sharp VHS camcorder with high-speed shutter, zoom lens, and remote control. Perfect for the beginner or the pro. Now call 220-1148. If you're the 45th caller, you'll win this great prize. And there are more prizes to come from WAFF 48. Keep watching.
Home sales in January jump almost 25% over the same time last year. Sales last month outpaced the previous January by more than 300 units. Birmingham led the state with 454 homes sold, followed by 253 in Montgomery. Huntsville comes in third with 220 homes sold. Mobile County and Morgan County round out the top 5. According to January home sales report, the average home price statewide was $77,628. That's up slightly from $74,137 in January of 1992. The U.S. Secretary of State pushes for Mideast peace talks.
Here's a look at top world news at this hour. Warren Christopher hopscotches the Middle East, attempting to revive stalled peace talks. Today, he made an unscheduled stop in Beirut. He becomes the first senior U.S. official to visit the Lebanese capital in almost 10 years. But today's trip is expected to pay off. It's predicted Lebanon will return to the negotiating table. Jordan, Egypt, and Syria have already expressed support for resuming the peace talks. Defense Secretary Les Aspin spent last night in the hospital. He's suffering from a shortness of breath. Doctors say he's improving and attribute the problem to a pre-existing heart condition. In the mountains of Colorado, search crews look for 5 lost skiers. The group disappeared following an avalanche near Aspen. The sky cleared briefly and allowed an air search, but cloud cover grounded the planes. Searchers in snow vehicles and on cross-country skis battled 10 miles of snow drifts up to 5 feet deep. 2 British children face murder charges in the death of a toddler. Today, a judge formally charged the 10-year-olds with the mutilation murder of a 2-year-old boy. Security was tight as hundreds of people lined the street around the Liverpool courthouse where the suspects appeared. The murder has shocked the entire country. British police say the suspects lured the child away from his mother at a shopping center. Finally, humanitarian aid flows into the former Yugoslavia. 3 transport planes full of relief supplies landed in the war-torn country. The UN allowed the delivery after warring factions gave assurances that the peacekeeping mission would not be the target of sniper fire. Those are some top world stories at this hour. For more international events, watch NBC Nightly News at 6.
In the last couple of days, our temperatures have been running hot and cold. Bob tells us what the trend is for our planet.
And it takes a lot of conditioning to perform like this. In sports of all sorts, we'll show you that athletes come in all shapes and sizes.
Hi there, we're Big Twins. Both of us. They know that. We're here to tell you about Hardee's Big Twin. Get it? They got it. Hardee's Big Twin is twin beef patty, cheese, lettuce, special sauce. You're gonna love it. That was my line. That wasn't yours. Yes, it was. You're gonna love it.
Hardee's Big Twin is back, now with our new thicker, crispier fries for just $1.99.
So get yourself a Big Twin, like this. Not like this. They know that.
Hurry in for Hardee's Big Twin.
Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's!
Do grown-ups actually work? I mean, all they do is tell us what to do. Timothy Wheeler.
Timothy Wheeler class starts at 8 o'clock sharp, not 8:01, 8 o'clock.
Timmy, button your shirt, tie your shoes, comb your hair, stand up straight, wash your face.
Luckily, there's dinner time and no rules. That's why there's Sloppy Joe's by Manwich. You could eat them any which way you want. All of which makes their rules easier to take.
Not yet. Not yet.
Sloppy Joes, by Manwich. No rules.
Deep down, what's the dirtiest word in your bathroom? Lysol Basin Tub and Tile Cleaner has twice the cleaning power of the original formula to wipe out soap scum. And it even gets rid of germs. Get your bathroom deep down clean with Lysol Basin Tub and Tile Cleaner.
A new beginning deserves a beautiful finish. Polycrylic protective finish from Minwax. Unlike ordinary finishes, polycrylic dries crystal clear in no time and cleans up with water. Minwax Polycrylic. A new beginning deserves a beautiful new finish. Minwax Polycrylic. Today's way to keep wood beautiful.
All of these toilet bowl cleaners make clean, but not one of them disinfects. So you don't get your toilet totally clean unless you use Lysol toilet bowl cleaner. It easily reaches tough rust stains, and unlike those others, it disinfects for a deep down clean. Don't do part of the job. Get your toilet totally clean with Lysol toilet bowl cleaner.
If you're familiar with the term greenhouse effect or maybe global warming, you might think you know the answer to tonight's weather school question. Bob?
Well, the question is, the average global temperature has been increasing, decreasing, or unchanging. Well, the answer is increasing. However, the answer to this one really depends on who you ask. According to some studies, the average world temperature has increased by 0.7 of a degree over the past 110 years. The apparent increase has been linked to the greenhouse effect, our pollution of the atmosphere, which causes heat energy to be trapped. But others, among them UAH scientist John Christie, attribute this increase to the location of the thermometers. He feels that they're mostly located in urban areas where more and more concrete heats the local area, but is not representative of the whole world. And as proof, Christie points to satellite studies which show that there hasn't been any heating. But maybe one of you budding scientists out there will come up with the real answer. Tom?
Thank you, Bob. Mark Thornhill's in the newsroom now with sports of all sorts. And Mark, leading cheers is a tough job.
It's a sport. I mean, a separate sport almost, yeah. Normally, they're the ones doing the cheering, but tonight Mark Meters sends a few cheers the cheerleaders' way out at UAH.
Over the years, the Charger athletic teams have had their ups and downs, their winning seasons and their losing ones. But through it all, there's always one thing they could count on: the support of the UAH cheerleaders. And while everyone can appreciate the physical effort and strain on a soccer or hockey player, the rigors of cheerleading can be just as demanding.
I mean, we have to be in shape to be able to cheer a whole game. I mean, we do things like flips and things like that, so we jump a lot, so we definitely have to be in shape. When people are just, oh, they're just out there, they're just cheerleaders. I mean, cheerleading, it is my sport, and it means a lot to me.
For senior stuntman Robert Peters, the cheerleaders are like the athletes in another way. They're a team.
The best thing, I guess, is the camaraderie and the oneness that you have with the team. Everybody here is like a family. We work together, we practice together, twice a week, and we share the joys and difficulties of being on the team together. It's like a watch. If one part of it's not working, then it's not going to work at all. No matter how you're feeling, if your partner's not feeling up to par, or if timing and everything's not perfect, then the stunt won't come off right.
Coach Tabby Cobb cheered for the Chargers from 1985 through 1987. And although some things are the same as when she was on the squad, Tabby feels the respect from the athletic department has grown.
Things haven't changed a whole lot. Basically, they still do a lot of the cheers that we did when I was here, as a matter of fact. There's more support from the athletic department, I think, now towards cheerleading. It's recognized now more as a sport than it was in the past.
So the next time you're at a Charger game, in addition to yelling for an outstanding play, you might add some applause for a great cheer. Mark Meter, Tennessee Valley News Channel Sports.
And speaking of cheerleading, congratulations to the Sparkman High cheerleaders who won a national title down in Orlando over the weekend. Tom and Holly, we got all sorts of talented cheerleader types.
A lot of talent in this area.
You
sure
bet.
is.
Yeah, we always talk about the competition on the field, but the competition off the field among cheerleaders is pretty tough,
Very
too.
strenuous.
And as we've mentioned before, it's not at all what it used to be, just standing there waving a pom-pom. They get up and do some stunts and jump around and do all sorts of things.
I'd be able to do. All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Still to come on the Tennessee Valley News Channel, if you're a believer that diets don't work, we've got some suggestions on what does. It could mean changing the way you do things forever.
Illegal dump sites in the valley are more than an eyesore. They're a health hazard. County leaders make plans to clean them up.
First, accused husband murderer Betty Wilson faces a jury of her peers, but who will be selected to decide her fate?
You're watching the Tennessee Valley News Channel with Tom Kennemer, Ollie Sherwood, Bob Barron's Doppler 48 Weather, and Mark Thornhill Sports. This is the Tennessee Valley News Channel.
The murder trial of Betty Wilson begins in Tuscaloosa. Jury selection lasted all afternoon, and it's expected to go on and continue through tomorrow. Wilson is charged with plotting the murder of her husband, Huntsville eye doctor Jack Wilson. We go now live to Darby Mullaney at the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. I think there you go, we got you in. Darby, jury selection is a very long process, but it's very important to both sides.
It sure is, Holly. Both sides want to find jurors